Okay, today we're going to take a look at how you can do customizations to the North Star system. The first thing that I'm going to show you is how to customize your market watch. So you'll notice that if I go to the drop down in the market watch that I have different property classes. So you can look at just single family, multifamily, lot and land, and then you have the all-encompassing cross property as well. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is pick the property class that you want to make the customizations for. You can customize each of the property classes. You just have to come back to this drop-down menu to select one. So I'm going to say cross property. And then I'm going to click on this customize button down at the bottom. If you already have customizations in the system and you want to set it back to default where it's showing all listings in the system, you just simply press that reset button. Oops. My screen just refreshed here. All right, so I'm going to, again, go to cross property and then click customize. Okay, so right now I have the counties in the system. I'm going to keep those in. I just have our 8 counties that we have in our area. You can also use a map search to set your customization. So if I go into the map, and then over on the side here, you'll notice that we have different drawing tools that you can use. And you can also jump to certain locations. So they have one for the Brainerd area in here, or you can type in an address to jump to that location as well. So just for today, I'm going to kind of zoom out a little here. I'm going to draw around this area here. So I'm going to grab the polygon tool because I'm going to draw a freeform shape. So I just click on the screen. Okay, and then I can choose to include the shape. If you have certain areas that you want to exclude, so you want to take into consideration all the area in our Brainerd Lakes area, but if you don't want to see listings within the city of Brainerd or something like that, you can also draw a shape and you can go down to exclude the shape, and it's going to turn it red, and so then you won't see listings in this red area. If I go back to it and say include this shape, it's going to include those in my search. So that's something that you can do. You would then just click the OK button to save this map area. I'm just going to click cancel for now. And then if you make any changes, there's a save button down here. You can add additional fields to the bottom just like you can on searches, and they'll stay in there. So if you want to do cross properties, so you can see single family and multifamily, but you don't want to see any lot land listings or commercial listings. If you click on the question mark next to property type after adding that field, it's going to give you the little codes that go along with these. So I can type in SF, MF, and then it's just going to pull up single family and multifamily listings for me. And like I said, you can add other fields. So if I click the add remove button and then type in waterfront, I can set it up so it's only pulling water from properties by then selecting yes in here. So lots of different customizations you can do with this. Generally speaking, you're going to want to keep your market watch pretty broad so that you can so that all the listings are coming up for you. Okay, so I'm just going to save this, and that's how you customize your market watch. You're going to watch for the message to pop up onto the screen saying that your market watch has been customized after you save changes. Another customization that you can do in the system is all of the little icons on the front page, all of the little boxes on the front page are customizable. So I can drag those around to different spots on the screen. You'll also notice I have an arrow right here. If I click on that arrow, it's going to minimize that box so that I'm only seeing the label. And then if I click it again, it's going to pull this box up and maximize what's showing up on our screen. And then I also have an X, and if I click the X, it's going to bring that box into an additional box that could be anywhere on the screen. That one you can drag around as well. So then if you want to reopen something that you've closed, you just click and hold and then drag and drop it somewhere on the screen. So that's the Market Watch. You'll notice that the hot sheet that you have on the front page is also customizable. You can have up to 10 hot sheets now. That's a recent thing that they added, so you can have up to 10 hot sheets showing up on the screen. So I actually went through and customized the name of some of the hot sheets, and we'll take a look at that during a different class. The other thing that you can customize are the single line displays that you have in the system. So I'm just quickly going to run a search in the single family general so that I can customize a single family spreadsheet. So I'm just going to keep this simple. I'm going to do active, and I'll just do the Pillager School District. Oops. And then I'm going to click results. Whoops. Let me take this and there we go. Okay, so now you'll notice that the single line grid is coming up with all my listings. So if I was specifically looking for listings within a couple different lakes or something like that, there's ways to customize this single line display. You'll notice up at the top I have a Manage Displays button. If I click on that, it's going to bring up some options. So display name, if I'm creating a new one, I can change the name. So I'm just going to say single line waterfront, and I'll just put customized at the end of it because we already have a single line waterfront. But it doesn't have a lot of those waterfront fields, so I'll do that. And then I'm going to say save as a copy. And then it's going to bring up the single line display with my customizations for the name. So we still have that single line display that they have in the system in here, but it's also creating and putting a my in front of it for single line waterfront customized. So that's the new display I've created. So I created the display, but it still has the same fields that we had previously. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, and there's a box right here that really doesn't have anything in it. It's just kind of a space holder. So if I hover over that box and then left click on it, it's going to allow me to insert another column. So I'm going to say insert. Oops. And then I'm going to type in the word waterfront. So I want to be able to see what waterfront name this listing is on, or if it's on a waterfront at all. So I'm going to pick the lake/waterfront name field. And then I'm going to say auto fit it. So it's going to auto fit it to this text. I may have to come back and do that as well. It doesn't look like it's going to let me right now. And then you can pick your alignment. All of them are left alignment as a default. So you can change the alignment. You may need to change it on everything for it to look the same as the spreadsheet, but you can change it to right or center. And then wrap text is going to be for any fields that have multiple lines worth of text in them. So if you're adding agent remarks, or if you're adding financial remarks or public remarks, you're going to want to wrap that text so that it wraps it around several lines instead of showing it all in one. So, oops, take it out of there here. Okay, so I'm going to add this, and then I'm just going to click apply once I'm done. And it's going to bring in the lake or waterfront name field. Now, lake or waterfront name, that's a long title for it to have, so I can always go in there and I can change the title. Also know that I've added this line. I still have this box that's left. It's just going to add a new item to the right side of that. So I can click in that box, and I can say remove column, so that it gets rid of that blank column. I can also get the crosshairs icon here and click again, and I can change the title. Whoops. If I just click in this box, so waterfront name, I can just shorten that up a little, and then I'm going to also click auto fit the pixel width. So the pixel width is going to be the length of the column. It's kind of hard to figure out at first, so that auto fit button is pretty helpful. And that's going to fit it so everything that's showing up in our spreadsheet currently is going to automatically fit into the line. So if I click auto fit again and then click apply, then it's going to apply it to all of these fields that I have in here. I can then go over here, and if I want to add another name or another column, I can say insert. And then let's see, let's do view. So waterfront view, I can add that as well. And click apply. And again, it's going to add it to the right side. If I want to, I can click and hold that. Oops. Oops. Not working for me right now. Okay, let's try that again. I can click and hold it with my left mouse key, and I can drag it to a different spot on the screen if I want to. And this might be waterfront view. Some of them have several values in there, so that might be one that you want to wrap as well, depending on how much room you have on your spreadsheet. And then to take away a field, I can just click in that box and then say remove column, and it's going to remove that column. So I remove the neighborhood field from the single line display. Okay, so now that I've made the changes, I do have to save this in the system. So let me just do the auto fit on this one quick. So I just have to go up to this manage displays button again, and then I'm going to click save changes right here. And it's going to save the changes that I've made to the spreadsheet. Okay, there is another way to create custom displays, and it's through My Matrix. So if I go to My Matrix and go to settings, I can go under custom displays in settings, and I can pick my property class. Don't use the tax one. That's the old tax database. So that's, not going to display for anything. So you can use open house, and it's going to let you choose from different open house fields, and then you can do any of the property classes or cross property on there. And then you can add, edit, or copy a display. So I have lots of custom displays in here that I've added to the system. Just going back to the last thing that we looked at really quickly, there is also a way, if I want this to be my default display in the system, right next to my Manage Displays button, I have a little gear icon. If I click on that gear icon, I can set the current display, sort, order, and count per page as my starting default. So what I want to do is if I want to sort by waterfront name, I want to get the pointer tool on there and click on it, and then it's going to sort it alphabetically by waterfront name. And then if I want to create the starting default, I can do that from here. Okay. All right. So the last thing I'm going to show you is how to customize a header and footer in Matrix, as well as how to find all the other spots that they have your contact information in here. So if I go to My Matrix and down to My Information, I first have just the general information page, so these are typable fields. If you change anything on here, such as your phone number or your email address, make sure you also notify GWAR, because we'll change it in our system as well, so that the public email address, if that's wrong in there, that we get it changed in the back end of Northstar as well. So make sure you let us know, and if any fields are needed to be override, you just check the box, and then you can type in the value in there. Okay. So header and footer we're going to come back to. Oops, I did make a change there. So mobile header and footer right here. This is the header and footer that's going to display if somebody pulls up the customer portal. So you send them an email and they pull up the customer portal. This is what it's going to look like in the mobile website. So it is your general header that we'll look at a little bit later. but it also has a drop down where we can pick different contact information to add into there. And then you can choose a photo. I'll show you how to add a photo to the header and footer. Once you've added it, you can use a custom photo, and if I click on this, I can choose from multiple photos that I have in the system. Okay. All right, CMA cover sheet. This just gives different information that's going to display on your CMA cover sheet. So if you want it to be your home address instead of your office address or something like that, you can always use the override button there. Portal information is the same. You're just going to grab from the drop-down different things. So you want to make sure that you're filling all these fields, or switching it to this top box right here is no fill. And then email signature, you can type in your email signature. There's also an editor here, so I can change the text color if I want to. I can change the fill color as well, so lots of different things that we can do in here. You can add links. It's going to ask you for the link type and the address that you want to send it to, and you can even add a subject line in here so that anytime anyone clicks on that from an email that you send them, it's going to go automatically to that type. And then the last thing that we're going to take a look at is the header and footer. Okay, so when you first come in and you haven't set a header and footer, you're going to get this page to come up. So you can choose not to use a header or footer, so it's just going to be blank at the top of your page. You can choose to upload a header and footer. Some of you have one with your office already, so you can upload it into the system and it'll give you the dimensions for doing that. I use a basic template for mine, but there's also all these colorful templates in here. If one of those fits what you're looking for better, you can choose those. The next thing you're going to do is hit the next or preview button. And then I was talking about the photo before. You can use a custom photo in here, so I just have to click on change photo. And to replace the photo, I'm just going to click the browse button. You'll notice the pixel size is listed up here. So browse. And then it's going to take me into the pictures on my computer. So then I can pick one and say, just grab one that's closer to the size here and say open. And then I can drag the box around so I get the best spot there. And then I'm going to save. Okay. So then that's going to replace the, you'll obviously do that with your photo or your company logo, but that's going to replace it in there. Down here, it's going to pull the information from our first, the first page that we looked at, the information page. So it's going to show which fields that it's adding there. And then I can pick a foreground color and a background color. So right here is going to be the code for that color. So if you really want to match it to, say, your company logo, if you go to the individual that made that logo and ask him for the color code, it's going to have a pound sign in front of it and then a code behind it. You can just type this code into the system and then it'll pull the code. If you don't have a code and you want to pick a color, I'm going under background color here. I can just click on the box with the current color, and I'm going to use the outside circle first. So I'm going to find a color range that I like, and then I'm going to kind of drag it around. You'll see the color showing up right here as well. I'm going to drag it around until I get the color I like, and then I'm going to say done. Okay? You do the same for the foreground color. I didn't really change it on there because it was in white, but you can do the same for the foreground color as well. Just make sure it doesn't get, this is a little dark, make sure it doesn't get too dark so you can't read the text any longer. Kind of drag it up to the white section here and then say done. And then once you've made your changes, you can click save and it's going to save that. If you have any questions about anything we went over today, feel free to contact me. The phone number here is at GLAR is 218-828-4567, or I can be contacted via email at marissa@greaterlakesrealtors.com. Thank you and have a wonderful day.